You have just read about a few special tactics for managing classroom disruptions. As you watch this video, keep the following questions in the back of your mind. How can I mend or tweak this tactic to fit my own classroom? What other tactics could I try? Let's say you have a class of 30 students. They are all working together on an addition and subtraction assignment when suddenly you hear a knock on the classroom door. The principal enters and tells everyone that there will be a school dance at the end of the week. At this point, all of your students are probably very, very excited. They might be talking about what they plan to wear or the kind of music they want to hear. High school students might even be talking about who they hope to bring as a date. In many cases, a teacher might simply give up on the lesson. Luckily, you have taught all of your students the hands-up game. You stand at the front of the classroom silently and you hold your right hand in the air. A few students see it and immediately fall silent, holding their hand in the air too. Other students might notice the classroom getting quieter and look up. Then they too will have their hands up until everyone is sitting silently and looking to you. Now that you have their attention, you could either ask your students to go back to their math just as before. In this case, it's possible that their thoughts will start to wander and they won't really absorb the information, or you could very slightly change the assignment. Your students can still learn addition and subtraction, but instead of adding together simple numbers, try creating a word problem. If you have 22 tickets to the dance, but 35 students, how many more tickets do you need? Or, if I have $50 and a new dress costs me $25, how much money do I have left over to spend on makeup? Invite students to come up with their own dance-related word problems. This way, they will take all of their excitement about the dance and apply it to their math. Not only will they be more likely to pay attention, but they will be having fun and creating an emotional connection to the subject. This means they are more likely to remember the concepts for longer. Now, let's say the day of the big dance has arrived. It will be starting in the evening, but for now, you have to get your students to pay attention. The problem is, they are all having a hard time sitting still. The first thing you might do is appoint the loudest of your students to be your classroom captains for the day. Make it their responsibility to hand out papers, pay attention to the clock, and when it's time to switch from one subject to the next, collect assignments, and generally help you manage the class. Make sure your class captains know in advance what their responsibilities are and how they will be rewarded for doing a good job, whether it's extra time at recess or an improvement to their grade. In this way, you will not only have additional help in managing the classroom, but you have just made sure your loudest students are less of a disruption. Disruptions are a natural part of life as a teacher. Make sure you have a few ideas of how to manage them and create systems well in advance. If, for example, you know you want your students to play the hands-up game when it's time to pay attention, make sure you teach it to them early on. Let's review. In this lesson, you looked at a few real-life scenarios where teachers had to handle classroom disruptions. You learned that it's important to plan well in advance for these kinds of disruptions and to put systems in place. Remember to always clearly communicate your expectations with your students and that you understand the root cause of these disruptions so you can accurately address them. Now is a good time to answer the questions you were asked at the beginning of this video. When you've obtained your answers, apply them to the themes of this video.